Hello, I just want to talk about how to tell if your tail is ethical, fake, or unethical. So first, let's go off of unethical. Unethical tails will usually be a little bit small, and oftentimes are dyed. I have more of these, so I'll just show them as examples. This is an unethical coyote tail. This is an unethical silver fox tail. How do I tell if it's unethical? Oftentimes they're going to be very skinny, and sometimes cut in half. If you can't tell really, this one's cut in half. That's why it seems like this part of the fur is shorter than like the other side. And they're oftentimes going to be dyed. I'll just show you a non-dyed right here. See, the other one doesn't look as blue. That's one way to tell if your tail is very unethical. And they will have this clasp. Yes, this very clasp. This one also has it. And as you just saw, all three of these have the clasp. I actually have more too. Some will come with clasps like this, but they're still very similar and still fur farmed. This Arctic fox also has a bluish tint. And obviously for reference, I'm going to show a golden island fox since it's the closest thing to a Arctic fox. More specifically, the tip. See how one isn't as blue? It's actually not that good on camera, but hopefully you guys see. They're not the same color. And for unethical golden island foxtails, they're going to usually be like this. Sometimes darker, sometimes lighter. It just really depends. Like especially if and actually you know what? And if you're looking for fake tails, I recommend these. I did make this myself, but even though it has a clasp, it's still fake. Look at how much longer it is compared to a real tail. Fake tails are going to be very long and usually not that posable. But it really is how you make it that makes it posable. This one, there's like a secondary tail inside, so obviously it's not going to be super posable, but hey, it's somewhat posable. I'll just show you the inner tail. It has a softer fur, but you can see that white part there. And now, ethical tails. Even though this tail has a clasp, it was left laying around because I had way more cruelly harvested tails. But the tail in general is a very ethical. It is big, poofy. Even though it's made of pieces, you can still tell that the foxtail it originally came from was very big and healthy. Just the leather wasn't tanned great, but that doesn't mean it's unethical. If your tail is very big, long, but not super long haired, like when you puff it out, it only is this big, at least, that usually means it's ethical. Like this tail, you can tell it's ethical. See how big it is? It also has a healthy color. I actually added on my own clasp. This one came without one. So, yeah. And then about the one I showed earlier, it has its own one. I added this on too. But yeah. Anyways, starting to kind of get tired of wearing my mask, but I'll just swap it real quick. Okay, that's better. The other one doesn't have like a downward jaw, so I can't breathe as good out of it. But yeah. So about ethical issues, if you have a tail like this, that's very, very small, you most likely bought it from a cruel farm. Cruel farms will basically abuse their animals, straight up. They won't give a care in the world about how the animal is treated. They just want the fur for luxury items and for the money. And the problem about it is they're kind of successful while also abusing animals at the same time. And most of your tails that you're going to get are coming from China or outside of the US and Canada. So basically what you're buying from is a farm that has thousands of small cages and tons of tiny young foxes that are being farmed very young for the softer, luxurious fur. I'll show you an example. Like, I'm going to show this one next to an actually ethical, non-unhumanely farmed one. Look at how much bigger it is. And I'll just show you the tips. There is a very big difference. One looks like it's been fed very well. The other is skinny. And you also can see the skinniness from right here. The other one looks hecka poofy though. And if you do buy fake fur tails, this is a fake Arctic fox tail I have, which is kind of stiff, but at the same time kind of waggable. There's also issues about how it's produced. It's basically from oil drilling. If you want fake fur though, that's something you're going to have to consider, because even though they're usually more ethical, still the way it's produced isn't ethical. Like, it's really up to the person to decide if they want real or fake. And also about fake tails, they're usually very stiff, and the thing that the fur is on is usually going to be very thick. Like, I'm going to squish this and it feels very thick, but for real tails, no matter how thick it is, the inner core is very thin. And this core is very big. And about ethical tails, yes, this one's also ethical. It's a Korzak fox, so that's why it's very tiny. About ethical tails, basically they're gonna come from humane fur farms or people that source from fur farms, or actually people that source from fur farm scrap, which basically is Valgrija Eller and Therian, I know, Luna Wildpaws, I think. Forgot their Etsy name, but they do get their tails ethically from the same person that Valgrija Eller sources their tails from. They basically have this scrap fur sent to them, and they use it for stuff. I don't have any Valgrija Eller tails yet, but pretty soon I might. Also, how to tell a tail apart? This is a red fox. They oftentimes have white tips. This is a wild one. This is a normal color. That's how you can see all that red. It's not very good on camera, but I dyed it myself. So, no, this isn't unethical even though it's dyed. I chose to dye it to match with this other mask that I was wearing. They're supposed to be like a match. But yeah. Anyways, that's it. Bye.